right, here we are with Paul Trillo's Absolve, featuring Jacques, the musician from France, and as well as the Recherche and Development studio, it
Yeah,
seems. So
this
these are all
film's
French folks.
having a moment. It got Runway TV's staff pick, which is like their inaugural version of doing what Vimeo's been doing for years. As well as this was featured in the lineup of films at the Sony lot recently, which was like a real moment for Hollywood. Starting to see these filmmakers in action, and I'd say this film was really the standout to me. I mean, there was some amazing work that night, but this film showed to me what's really possible.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got Runway featuring it as well, right? It's funny because it's featured by Runway, but it's also using Luma Labs, it's using Stable Diffusion, it's using all these other technologies as a part of the process as well. So, makes me wonder how does this ecosystem start to mold, where you're using, 20, 30, 40 different tools, which are both VFX and AI and, traditional filming techniques. Because clearly there are humans here who are filming this and they overlaid it with VFX and AI,
And this
right?
is the kind of stuff I really want more people to watch and see. Is that this is as additive to the traditional tools of filming as anything James Cameron does, as anything that Lucasfilm does. It's just that this is now accelerating the experimentation phase where you get to try out ideas with a lot less resources on that front end. And in a lot of ways, there's what Paul will talk about in his op-eds is that there's this like dance almost with the AI where it creates this like infinity of hallucinations or ideas that almost start to take over the process, and the artist needs to almost decide where to stop and start that. And I think that is this new thing that I personally, as I experiment with this stuff, get excited about. And I think that's where this stuff starts to be less threatening to artists, because this is just another tool.
And yet, the funny thing is that here's this video where it's in the Louvre, like arguably one of the most important museums in the world, with a lot of traditional art, and here's the AI melting onto it, or absorbing into it, or reconfiguring it. And here's this guy who's playing with this device that can like manipulate this space time, as well as kind of melt, all these arts that are extremely famous. So what is the commentary that Paul or Jacques or Recherche and Development are
I
making
think
here?
in what I read,
That
he definitely acknowledges there's a tongue-in-cheek reference that AI may be destroying art. um, but I think, as any movement in art goes through, there's always this bit of rebellion against what came before it. And I think Paul seems to be, as I've read, he's someone that really absorbed the classics and really learned the craft of what he's doing. So I don't see someone that's trying to burn everything down. I see someone that sees this being situated, and it's no accident that they're choosing to do this in the Louvre of all places.
yeah, it's like, okay, here, how do we see AI art in the future? Is it a continuation? Is it a destruction? Maybe it's all of these things. Maybe this is the kind of part of the feeling of dilemma that this guy's face has
Well,
throughout the
there's this great
video,
quote from the article
right?
that I love, and I think it shows where does the artist fit. It says, "To drive culture forward, we need people with weird ideas and unexpected perspectives that don't exist in the data set, which can only be formed through traditional learning and practicing their craft." Just another way of saying, like, the best thing that can come out of this is, like, keep pumping out the weird stuff. Just have more access to being weird, and then the AI can start to create new ideas that we haven't seen before. Which is, to me, this is like the weirdest thing I've seen in a long time, and I'm mesmerized by it.
I mean, it's interesting because I guess you've already made this point a few times here. It was just that, Paul is in this relationship with the AI. He's feeding into it. It's feeding back into him, and it's maybe re-engineering the way he views his own
Yeah.
creativity. And questions what is creativity in the process. And of course, here, we have like a lot of people involved in the project as well, right? It's not just just Paul and the artist. It's got a whole entire team behind it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these credits, that's a team, and I think that should start to point to where this fits into a bigger workflow.